underground sea you've got over there? Would be a shame if it was a mountain. Kira.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Naya.
We've been playing Highlander.
I don't know whether you can tell.
We've been playing a lot of Highlander. What have you been playing?
Can you guess?
I'm going to guess Nadu.
Yeah. I've been playing the bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you guess what I've been playing?
Something with blood moon in it. Blue moon?
Oh, yeah. It is indeed.
Crazy.
We've both been playing a lot of 7-point Australian Highlander because after Standard and Modern, it is probably it's actually more than Standard for sure, possibly more than Modern, the most popular competitive Magic format here in Melbourne.
Oh, I don't think it's close.
Yeah, like it is the format. And it would it behooves us to participate. And it's within our interests as people who are really interested in competitive 60-card constructed formats to, if we're going to talk the talk, we better walk the walk as well.
It's also really fun.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh my gosh. I'm allowed to play Blood Moon. I'm allowed to play Strip Mine, Wasteland,
Force of Will,
Nadu. Oh man, I mean Nadu now also. We just recorded our ban list episode, but talking about cards that are now like rarely legal in any format because it just got banned in Legacy.
I think it's exactly legal in Vintage right now.
Yeah, Vintage and Highlander. Mm-hmm. I did think on Scryfall I saw it's legal in Oathbreaker.
Sure.
Whatever Oathbreaker is.
I think that's the one where
your Planeswalker is like your commander and they have a signature spell.
Yeah. I think so.
That sounds correct to me. But Highlander is amazing. And it's such a different format because Highlander is a singleton 60-card format with a 15-card sideboard.
And we should specify we are talking about the Australian variant.
Australian 7-point Highlander, not Canadian in this instance.
Not French Highlander either.
There's French Highlander.
There is French Highlander.
Who gave the French Highlander?
Also Russian Highlander. There's lots of Highlander.
Huh.
But we're talking about Australia. We're talking about the best Highlander. Australian
Unbiased
Highlander.
opinion, the best Highlander.
Yeah. And I think the best way I've heard Australian 7-point Highlander described is cube constructed. Vintage cube constructed.
Yeah.
And I think that's accurate. And it's really, really cool because you get to play with all of the most broken stuff of all time. I mean, when we have Highlander nights, there are routinely multiple Black Lotuses in the room.
Yeah.
There are Moxen and Force of Wills and Lion's Eye Diamonds and Mox Diamonds and all the cool, very, very banned stuff.
All the crazy cards that you'd expect to be banned in Commander that aren't, like Gaia's Cradle and the Tabernacle at Pendrelale.
Oh, Tolarian Academy, my beloved.
All these these incredible cards, you get to play them. And you're encouraged to.
In fact, you almost have to, because otherwise you will get run over.
Yeah. Look, if you are playing against a Nadu deck and you don't have a Tabernacle in your deck, sorry, bud.
Yeah. If you're playing against any combo deck in the format and you don't have Force of Will, good luck to you, my friend.
Good luck. Well, and it's been a really interesting, we are really lucky here in Melbourne. We have an incredible Highlander community.
We really do.
The players here are so talented, kind, welcoming, intelligent. Like, they're fantastic.
Generous with letting you borrow their several $1,000 cards.
Yeah, I mean, I have felt so grateful to be, tentatively working my way into playing Highlander by way of 8-point moons. And the people that we are surrounded with are so patient when you're learning. And they're not, I was at POG last week and it was during the Highlander event, but I didn't play. I wanted to go and, see people and hang out for a bit and play some demo matches. But, I've played, a dozen or so games, but I'm not quite, I'm not feeling confident enough to flex my skills in a constructed Swiss, arena. And so I played with Billinghurst and I played with Braden and, got a chance to kind of just test things out and also play very openly with them. I'd resolve, consult the star charts and put all the cards down in front of Billinghurst and be like, okay, I'm thinking I want, this card and this card out of, because I've kicked Consult the Star chart, so I get 2. I'm thinking I want these 2 here because of this. What do you think? And he goes, I think you need to threat assess this thing on my board more, and you need to prioritize this card in this situation. And we talk through it. And it's very casual, but it's about learning and it's about getting better. And it's just been so wonderful. And I really harp on the notion that there is no real level of condescension. There's no real level of, talking down to, because these are people who want more people to play Highlander. And if you shoo people away from the format and you make them feel stupid, they're not going to really want to come back because it's a really high impact format and it's a high investment, format as well. Not even financially, just in terms of the skill and the gameplay that kind of you need to progress to be a moderately good Highlander player. And, something that sticks out to me really well in my mind, I was playing against Braden. And Braden's on like this Mardu deck, and I'm on Blue Moons, and, he's got some creatures on the board that I kind of want to get rid of, and he goes to attacks, and I go, excellent, okay, before damage, pitch Galvanic Iteration, evoke Fury, and he picks up the Fury, and I go, resolves, and he goes, I don't know, Kira, where does it say flash on Fury? And I pick it up and go, no. In my defense, 3 out of 5 of the evoke elementals have flash. And so in my head, I was shortcutting.
Yeah.
And not reading the card properly.
Also, the card that it's a reference to, Pyrokinesis, also is an instant, right?
Like, in my head, I was so big-brained. In my head, I was brilliant. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bait him into an attack, and then Fury, pow, pow, pick out 2 cards. It'll be easy. And I messed up because I need to play it in my main phase.
It happens.
But again, like, the response to that was jovial joking and being like, I don't know, where does it say flash on your card here? And I just go, pick those back up, pretend you don't know that I have those. You didn't see anything. God, I'll take 10.
Yeah. I will strategically take 10.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. And again, like, there's no level of, and I'm feeling this in my head, but no one's saying it to me. I'm feeling like, oops, I'm an idiot. Like, I did not play that properly. But no one else at the table is looking at me going like, moron, you can't cast Fury at instant speed. It doesn't have flash. Like, get it together.
Because you weren't sitting across from me.
Yeah, Mayo would have been bullying me the whole time. And frankly, JD would have too. And I do think they commented on that, so I'm watching you. The community's great.
Community does rule.
Yeah. And you've been doing really well. Like, you've 3-1'd several Highlander nights at POG.
That is not true. I have 2-2'd 1. I have played 1 Highlander night at POG and I went 2-2.
I mean, it's better than I would have done. I would have 0-4'd.
Yeah. No, but I've played a lot of Highlander outside of plenty of games in people run Highlander leagues and online Highlander tournaments, and being the, serial combo degenerate I am, I enjoy playing degenerate combo decks. So I've been playing a lot of a deck that is fondly nicknamed an egregious display of wealth because the deck costs something like $40,000 in its cheapest version.
Yeah.
But if you play it online, it's like 300 ticks. So I can get that with my Mana Trader subscription.
Yeah. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
But
and yeah, like the format is just really exciting. I will say the thing about Highlander, and a misconception that I think people who look in on Highlander don't really understand, is while Highlander does have all of the most powerful, most degenerate, most combo-tastic cards in the format, like you can play Bazaar of Baghdad and Fast Bond, like those cards are insane. You can play Black Lotus. The format is incredibly interactive and incredibly skill testing. And the best deck for quite a while now has been a 3-color, deeply interactive mid-range deck, which is Grixis, and it tells you something about the format. Yeah, this is not your vintage paradoxical outcome, slam, pick up all my cards, activate Time Vault, go crazy deck. The best decks are the ones that are casting your Thoughtseizers and your Force of Wills, and that makes the skill requirement so high, right? And like to some extent, I would say there's a reasonably low skill floor on Highlander because there are definitely decks that you can pick up and just completely ignore what your opponent is doing and play the game normally. Guilty. But as you kind of like get better at the format and you develop kind of an understanding of the broader format at large, it becomes incredibly skill testing and incredibly interaction heavy. And look, it is super fun. It is maybe my second favorite format behind Standard. It's so good. And like, I love Cube, and Cube Constructed is great. And the point system is great. And the people who manage the format, the 7 Point Highlander Points Committee, are all amazing people. It's like a very transparent process as to like the pointings and the bandings. And they keep the format really healthy, which is amazing. I cannot stop singing the praises of this format. It is so much fun.
It's really intense as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's really intense. I think it's a really good test of skill. I think it really, more than many other formats, forces you to level up each skill in your, respective constructed format, your skill bank, like to the nth degree. Like understanding timing, understanding patience, understanding playing to your outs, like it's at such a different, understanding that, okay, I'm going against a Mardu deck. They have absolutely no counterplay. Turn 3, they've got Scrubland, Badlands, a Surveil tapped out. I'm going to slam this back to basics, and that will win me the game. But also understanding, sure, now I'm playing against an Esper player, and free spells are a thing. Unless I also have a counterspell backup, I can't just slam this here because this is actually going to be really bad. And I've really loved playing. And again, like I can't talk enough about how great the players of the format are. And there was also just, as of time of recording this past weekend, Pat had the MTG Bazaar Win a Lotus event, the event to end all events. And that was a 310 person tournament.
Yeah, I think that is bigger than every RC since COVID.
It was the biggest post-COVID Magic event.
I believe it.
Like that has, and it's like the biggest like Australian event that's been run.
Yeah, I think competitive.
Competitive.
Command Fest was.
Wait, no. Command Fest. Competitive event that's been run. And that's massive. And like a huge round of applause to Pat for putting that event on. That was fantastic. And he had side events. He had a, invitational event as well. And the Win a Lotus event.
The prizes were incredible.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't just a Lotus. There was a Mox Emerald. There were several jewels. There were like Final Fantasy collector bundles. There was all sorts of insane prizes for every single event.
Yeah. And like the Win a Lotus event specifically, the top 8 prizes were a Black Lotus for first, a Mox Emerald for second, Time Vaults for third and fourth, and Underground Seas for 5th through 8th. Very top heavy, but you know what you're going into. Like the reason it's top heavy is because there's a Lotus on the line. And Matt Judas won that event.
Congratulations.
Played against Richard Owen, a noted Storm player, and Matt Judas won with the deck he won with Grixis. And so Grixis is, absolutely one of the best decks in Highlander. But what's so interesting is that Highlander is such a diverse meta. There are so many different decks and different iterations on decks. There were, I think, 3 variations on shops alone at the event. Like it's amazing to see the innovation. There's so many different teams, and it's just...
Shops, for those who don't know, is Mishra's Workshop decks. Mm-hmm. So this is,
Artifact decks.
Shops, bots, and mud, right?
There's a lot going on.
I will say as well, with the diversity of, like, one of the features of 7 Point Highlander in particular is, as much as the secondary market doesn't exist and can't hurt you, the secondary market unfortunately exists.
Yeah.
And as a result, what you get is you get a lot of deck specialists, right? While, I think if every card in the format was 50 cents, then the best deck in the format is probably Storm, right? Like, between the, like, skill expression and the results it's been putting up, like, if everybody has infinite money, I think Storm is half the room. Mm-hmm. But people don't have infinite money, And as a result, people hyper specialize in particular decks. So, like Mulch, who is Luke, who is a friend of the pod, so to speak.
Yes.
He's a Nadu specialist, has been playing Nadu since the moment it came out. He's incredibly good at that deck, has a fantastic, almost singular understanding of the way that version of the deck works. Richard Owen is the Storm player.
The Storm player.
Is absolutely...
The with 2 E's.
Yes, is absolutely exceptional at the deck. Has been playing it for 20 years or something.
Like
Has been
that.
playing it for a very, very long time. And that skill expression, it shows, right? It doesn't matter what the rest of the field is doing. You can basically always bet on Richard Owen to top 8.
Trent is your shops expert. Kyle is your 8-point Dimir expert. Jinhao is your 8-point Blue Moon expert. Like, there's so many ways to hyper specialize within the format. And you have people who play multiple different iterations of decks. You have people who like to change what they're doing and try multiple different decks. Like, it's so amazing how open the format is, and also how much it kind of like fluxes and changes as points go up and or down. We're due for a points update soon, because points updates always happen after a set releases. So there's a chance that with the Win a Lotus event, you know, a lot of the, I'm pretty sure all of the Highlander points committee members were at that event. There's a very good chance that between seeing what new cards were played and what cards were dominating, they'll have a good idea of what needs to change with the next points update.
Yeah, and look, Grixis was 5 of the top 8.
Yeah.
And look, fully, I am okay with this. Like, Grixis being 5 of the top 8 is really good because it is kind of an accessible deck.
I thought it was 2 of the top 8.
I thought it was 5.
I think it was 2 Grixis, 2 Shops, Blue Moon. No, 2 Grixis, 2 Storm, for sure. 2. I'm gonna try and guess this, and I'll correct myself later, but I'm pretty sure it was 2 Grixis, 2 Storm, Selesnya bots, Blue Moon, something and something. I didn't think it was 5 Grixis though.
Did Mono Green Lands make it?
No. I know Violet made top 8.
Yes.
And
they were
she was on Selesnya bots. And I know Jared Alsop made, and he was on Blue Moon. And then, yeah, I remember, I think it was, I could have sworn like the most represented was 2.
Okay.
But I'll put on the screen and correct, and I'll put on screen what the top 8 was.
I might be mistaking it for the last November.
Oh, the Highlander,
the
Invitational. That is very possible. I would not be surprised. I think that was correct. I think the last Invitational at Plenty of Games was 5 Grixis in the top 8.
Yes, but like, that's good. I would rather a more accessible deck be kind of one of the best decks in the format, especially when it's so interactive, because, yeah, I don't know. The deck is very cool. The format is very cool. Play Highlander. It's great. And play Highlander online in particular. There are quite a few online tournaments that happen for Highlander.
VFN.
VFN in particular. But if you join the 7-Point Highlander Discord, there are also Highlander leagues and all sorts of that. And Highlander is much more accessible online because your Black Lotuses are like, I think like 70 ticks or something,
right,
as opposed to 15,000.
However many thousands of dollars they are.
As opposed to $1,000.
Yeah.
And pick up a deck and learn it, specialize in it, explore, see what stuff there is. There are so many cool decks. My personal favorites, I love Egregious Display. I think that deck is amazing. I'm loving the new Mono Green Lands deck that's around. Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, Dark Depths, Glacial Chasm Loops. Oh, do I love me a Glacial Chasm Loop. So much good stuff going on in Highlander right now. Pick it up. Truly.
I will say the only downside is you do have to learn how to use MTGO.
Yes, it's true, but that's a skill that most Magic players should have, I think. That's like...
I don't have it still.
Yeah, look...
I just keep clicking through faces on accident.
Oh, I do that too. That's an occupational hazard. You never get over that.
Yeah. No, but the format's really fun. And again, the power and diversity of the format are really exciting. And it does change. Like, I think, we here in Melbourne have a series of what I would say like the 20 identifiably fantastic players and players who put up consistent results, and you can generally look to them and say like, yep, I expect them to, generally
do reasonably well.
Do reasonably well most of the time. And you guys can all guess at home who those people are and if you're one of them. But what's really, really awesome is the way that things kind of like bounce around, because it is also variance. Like there is also, depending on what you draw and how you shuffle up, there is also just a level of luck to it. Top decking remains a skill.
Especially in a singleton format.
Being able to, play to your outs and, it's really fun. I don't have too much to say other than that. It's been an exciting journey. It remains really fun. And I haven't found it, unlike other formats, like Standard or like Modern, I haven't found it nearly as intimidating to get into, despite it coming off as, the most intimidating format in terms of vibes because it's a vintage format. I have found it so much easier. And again, I think that a lot of that is to do with the community that surrounds Highlander and the community support that exists for Highlander. But I have found it so much less intimidating to get into Highlander. There's always someone nearby who, has a deck on them or is willing to just jam with you whenever you really would like. And that really makes a difference to new players. Having that level of connection and support when you're trying to get into a new format is important. You need to be able to reach out to someone. Currently one of the issues with Standard is that not very many people are playing it. So how do you connect with other Standard players? How do you sit down and jam? How do you sit down and practice if no one around you is playing Standard?
Well, hopefully now that the bans have happened, the format becomes more appealing again, and especially with Magic Arena being kind of the premier online Magic client, so to speak. I think Highlander is insane. Highlander is good. Fun fact: Wan Shi-Tong was in 20% of decks at the Winter Lotus event.
Really?
Yep. So we got that one right. That one's really good.
Got that correct. I think I did also remember hearing Ethan saying that the worst performing pointed card was Force of Negation.
Force of Negation is pointed? Force of Will, maybe?
Maybe Force of Will. I could be misremembering my fun facts.
Okay.
I don't ever put it past me. I forget a lot of things.
Oh, it could be me as well. Like, I haven't checked the point list in a month, so. I know Fast Bond isn't on it, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. Just play lands.
Yeah, play lands.
Just play as many lands as you'd like.
Simply, just play like Fast Bond and some wheels, and it's fine.
Yeah. Look, and I remain saying this. If you are a Commander player and you like high-powered Commander and you are frustrated either by the limitations of Commander or the social limitations of Commander, go play Highlander.
Go play Highlander.
It's
Even
very
if you're not,
similar.
Go play Highlander.
Yeah, even if you're not frustrated with the limitations and you're totally fine with your Krenko deck going brr, just go play Highlander.
Yeah, because that way you can play Krenko with Goblin Lackey.
Yeah. It's great.
That's pretty good.
It's good. And there's so many, I say fun, other people say shut up. There's so many fun cards in the format, like Strip Mine and Wasteland and Back to Basics.
Those cards are fun.
To some people.
Yeah, I mean, they're interactive.
And it allows you to play the game very differently. And if you like a singleton format and you like something more aggressive and you like something more competitive, if you want to just have your singular goal be win, play Highlander. People are not going to fault you for wanting to win in Highlander. Like,
literally the only format people will fault you for wanting to win in is Commander.
The social expectations are very different. And if you are tired of those, break free of your chains, comrade.
Yes, come play Highlander, the format of the people.
Come play Highlander. It's a really, really exciting format. And there's lots of really interesting innovation being done in the 8-point space. The ability to have access to an extra 8th point if you're not playing reserve list cards is not nothing.
Oh, it's really significant.
Yeah, and our lovely guest who's been on the show, Violet, has done a lot of really amazing work in the, 8-point and budget, space of making decks that are approachable for first-time players. And I think that's really important. Being able to show people like, hey, here is the entry path. Here's the path that I want you to walk down. Like, come play this game with me. I have put decks together for you. I think you'll find them really interesting. Come and play.
Also, with Highlander, kind of more so than other formats, you can just kind of play whatever.
Truly.
Like, do you have an archetype that you like? It exists.
Play it.
Does it not exist? You can play it anyway because every deck is better with a Black Lotus in it.
Every deck is better with a Black Lotus. Every deck is better with a Force of Negation or a Force of Will or, a Mental Misstep, or a Barragoyf or
Or a White Plume Adventurer.
Yeah, like every deck, there is an archetype for you. It is so, in so many ways, it's very similar to Commander. Even JD tried to pitch it to me when I was still playing Commander, like as my main format. JD was like, oh yeah, it's like Commander in that it's a singleton format. And I was like, oh, awesome. And you have a Commander? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, so that's where the similarities end.
Well, kind of. You could argue that in Storm, Black Lotus is kind of the Commander.
Kind of the Commander. You can argue that in Blue Moon, sometimes Lutri is your Commander.
Yeah, I suppose there are definitely companions. Companions are pretty good.
Companions are really good. So, yeah, no. Come play. We're playing more of it. I'm going to be on Blue Moon for a very long time. I think the deck is just fantastic. So,
you can come watch me play Solitaire whenever I'm playing Highlander online, or play a different flavor of Solitaire whenever I'm playing in paper.
If you want to watch someone play Magic,
I'm
just
your gal.
find a Nadu player. And with all that said, that's all we have for you. New episodes release on Mondays at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can keep track of all of our releases at Raise MTG on both Instagram and Blue Sky. You can keep track of Maya at Maya MTG and myself at Kira Bobira. A huge thank you to the Hen House Recording Studio for the ongoing use of their space. And until next week, remember, a ruler wears a crown while the rest of us wear hats. But which would you rather have while it's raining?